Namaste, Dandavat Pranam. By the instruction and guidance of our spiritual master, Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa, Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj, we are here reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We're also paying our humble Dandavat Pranam to Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who has given us this translation and commentary of Bhagavatam. And following the guidance of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, we are praying to Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī. Yadi sevā-vañcitāḥ yasyāḥ kṛpayā vayaṃ labhema sarvaṃ prāpnumaḥ prayojanaṃ dhāmni śrī-bhagavat pade Kṛṣṇa-sambandhi sarvaṃ Yadi jānīmahe tutam Aṣṭādaśasu sahasreṣu ślokānāṃ bhāgavat-oktiṣu Rādhārānīṃ na vindāmaḥ tadā nishphalam bhagavat adhyayanam radhikaya kripam vina vyartasyat sarva-pariśramaḥ. If we are cheated out of serving that personality whose mercy awards us everything we need, including residence in the Lord's holy Dham and all things connected to Krishna, and if we cannot understand or discover Rādhārānīṃ within the 18,000 verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, then our study of Srimad Bhagavatam has been pointless. Without the mercy of Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī, all of our efforts are in vain. So we are continuing our reading today from Canto 5, chapter 24, text 25. Yasyanu dasyam evasmat pitamaha kila bhavre natusva pitryam yad uta kuto vayaṃ padam dihamanam bhagavata param iti bhagavato parate kalusva pitari. Bali Maharaj said, "My grandfather Prahlad Maharaj is the only person who understood his own self-interest. Upon the death of Prahlad's father, Hiranyakashipu, Lord Nrsimhadev wanted to offer Prahlad his father's kingdom, and even wanted to grant him liberation from material bondage. But Prahlad accepted neither. Liberation and material opulence, he thought, are obstacles to devotional service, and therefore such gifts from the personality, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, are not his actual mercy. Consequently, instead of accepting the results of karma and jnana, Prahlad Maharaj simply begged for the Lord's engagement in the service of his servant." Purport. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has instructed that an unalloyed devotee should consider himself a servant of the servant of the servant of the Supreme Lord. Gopi Bharta Pada Kamalayor Das Udas Anudas. In Vaishnava philosophy, one should not even become a direct servant. Prahlad Maharaj was offered all the blessings of an opulent position in the material world, and even the liberation of merging into Brahman, but he refused all of this. He simply wanted to engage in the service of the servant of the Lord. Therefore, Bali Maharaj said that because his grandfather Prahlad Maharaj had rejected the blessings of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in terms of material opulence and liberation from material bondage, he truly understood his self-interest. Text 26. Tasya mahanu bhavasyanu patam amrijita kashaya ko vasmad vidha parihina bhagavad anugraha upaji gamishatiti. Bali Maharaj said, persons like us who are still attached to material enjoyment, who are contaminated by the modes of material nature, and who lack the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, cannot follow the supreme path of Prahlāda Maharaj, the exalted devotee of the Lord. Purport. It is said that for spiritual realization, one must follow great personalities like Lord Brahma, Devarshi Narada, Lord Shiva, and Prahlāda Maharaj. The path of bhakti is not at all difficult if we follow in the footsteps of previous acharyas and authorities. But those who are too materially contaminated by the modes of material nature cannot follow them. Although Bali Maharaj was actually following the path of his grandfather, because of his great humility, he thought that he was not. It is characteristic of advanced Vaishnavas following the principles of bhakti that they think themselves ordinary human beings. This is not an artificial exhibition of humility. A Vaishnava sincerely thinks this way, and therefore never admits his exalted position. Text 27. Tasyanu charitam uparishtad vishtarishyate yasya bhagavan svayam akila jagadgurur narayano dvarigada panir avatistate nija jananu kampita hridayo yenam gustena padadasa kandaro yojana yuta yutam digvijaya uchatita. Sukadeva Goswami continued, My dear king, how shall I glorify the character of Bali Maharaj? The Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Master of the three worlds, who is most compassionate to his own devotee, stands with club in hand at Bali Maharaj's door. When Ravana, the powerful demon, came to gain victory over Bali Maharaj, Vamanadev kicked him a distance of 80,000 miles with his big toe. I shall explain the character and activities of Bali Maharaj later in the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Text 28. Tato dashtat talatale mayo nam adana vendrastrai Puradipatir Bhagavata Purarina Triloki Samchikirshuna Nirdagda Svapuratrayastat Prasada Labda Pado Mayavinam Acharyo Mahadevena Pararakshito Vigata Sudarshana Vayo Mahiyate. Dandavat Pranam Śrīmatī Devi.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
I tried to log in, I couldn't get it. I'm waiting more than half an hour.
Really?
Then I close again. I start.
Oh, sorry. Maybe I did not see when you first came on. Maybe it's my fault. Because I left the room. Sorry about that, Uma Devi. I'm very happy you're here now. Translation. Beneath the planet known as Sutala is another planet called Talatala, which is ruled by the Dhanava demon named Maya. Maya is known as the Acharya, or master, of all the Mayavis, who can invoke the powers of sorcery. For the benefit of the three worlds, Lord Shiva, who is known as Tripurari, once set fire to the three kingdoms of Maya, but later, being pleased with him, he returned to his kingdom. Since that time, Maya Dhanava has been protected by Lord Shiva, and therefore he falsely thinks that he need not fear the Sudarshan Chakra of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Text 29. tato dastan mahatale kadraveyanam sarpanam naika sirasham krodhavaso namha ganakuhaka takshaka kaliya sushennadi pradhana maha bhogavanta patatri rajadi pate purusha vahad anavaratam udvijamana svakala traptaya kalatrapatya surit kutumba sangena kvachit pramata viharanti. The planetary system below Talatala is known as Mahatala. It is the abode of many hooded snakes, descendants of Kadru, who are always very angry. The great snakes who are prominent are Kuhaka, Takshaka, Kaliya, and Sushena. The snakes in Mahatala are always disturbed by fear of Garuda, the carrier of Lord Vishnu. But although they are full of anxiety, some of them nevertheless sport with their wives, children, friends, and relatives. Purport. It is stated here that the snakes who live in the planetary system known as Mahatala are very powerful and have many hoods. They live with their wives and children and consider themselves very happy, although they are always full of anxiety because of Garuda, who comes there to destroy them. This is the way of material life. Even if one lives in the most abominable condition, he still thinks himself happy with his wife, children, friends, and relatives. Text 30. Tato dastad rasatale daiteya dhanava panayo nama nivata kavacha kalaye hiranya Purabhashina iti vibudha pratyanika utpatyamahu joso mahasahashino bhagavata shakala lokanu bhavasya harer eva tejasa pratihata balavalepa bileshaya eva vashanti evai Saramayendra Dujavagbir Mantra Varnabir Indrad Bibhayati. Beneath Mahatala is a planetary system known as Rasatala, which is the abode of the demoniac sons of Diti and Danu. They are called Panis, Nivata Kavachas, Kalayas, and Hiranya Puravasis, those living in Hiranyapur. They are all enemies of the demigods, and they reside in holes like snakes. From birth they are extremely powerful and cruel, and although they are proud of their strength, they are always defeated by the Sudarshan Chakra of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who rules all the planetary systems. When a female messenger from Indra, named Sarama, chants a particular curse, the serpentine demons of Mahatala become very afraid of Indra. Purport. It is said that there was a great fight between the serpentine demons and Indra, the king of heaven. When the defeated demons met the female messenger Sarama, who was chanting a mantra, they became afraid, and therefore they are living in the planet called Rasatala. Text 31. Tato dastat patale nagaloka patayo vasuki pramukaha shanka kulika mahashanka sveta dhananjaya dhritarashtra sankachuda kambalasvatara devadattayo mahabogino Mahamarsha nivashanti yeshamu havai pancha saptadasa sata sahasra sirshanam fanashu virachita mahamanhayo rochisnava patala vivaratimira nikaram sva rochisa vidhamanti. Beneath Rasatala is another planetary system known as Patala or Naga Loka, where there are many demoniac serpents, the masters of Naga Loka, such as Shanka, Kulika, Mahashanka, Sveta, Dhananjaya, Dhritarashtra, Shankachuda, Kambala, Asvatara, Devadatta. The chief among them is Vasuki. They are all extremely angry, and they have many, many hoods. Some snakes 5 hoods, and some 7, some 10, others 100, and others 1,000. These hoods are bedecked with valuable gems, and the light emanating from the gems illuminates the entire planetary system of Bila Svarga. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 5th canto, 24th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Subterranean Heavenly Planets. So we'll just read the introduction to chapter 25 and then conclude for today. In this chapter, Shukadeva Goswami describes Ananta, the source of Lord Shiva. Lord Ananta, whose body is completely spiritual, resides at the root of the planet Patala. He always lives in the core of Lord Shiva's heart, and he helps him destroy the universe. Ananta instructs Lord Shiva how to destroy the cosmos, and thus he is sometimes called Tamasi, or one who is in the mode of darkness. He is the original deity of the material consciousness, and because he attracts all living entities, he is sometimes known as Sankarshan. The entire material world is situated on the hoods of Lord Sankarshan. From his forehead he transmits to Lord Shiva the power to destroy this material world. Because Lord Sankarshan is an expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, many devotees offer him prayers, and in the planetary system of Patala, all the suras, asuras, gandharvas, vidyadharas, and learned sages offer him their respectful obeisances. The Lord talks with them in a sweet voice. His bodily construction is completely spiritual and very, very beautiful. Anyone who hears about him from a proper spiritual master becomes free from all material conceptions of life. The entire material energy is working according to the plans of Anantadev. Therefore, we should regard him as the root cause of material creation. There is no end to his strength, and no one can fully describe him, even with countless mouths. Therefore he is called Ananta, or unlimited. Being very merciful towards all living entities, he has exhibited his spiritual body. Sukadeva Goswami describes the glories of Anantadev to Maharaj Parikshit in this way. So we'll continue from text 1 of chapter 25 on Wednesday. Anything to share before we conclude for today? So, in the beginning of this, around chapter 15, 16, when we were reading the Bhagavat cosmology section, we were trying to hone in on allegorical meanings of the text. But just for fun, kind of, just to always try to take a different perspective. If we were to take a literal interpretation of what we're reading right now, ancient sages with pure consciousness who could see beyond the limits of the senses of this world and could perceive the consciousness of other entities on different planetary systems throughout the multiverse. An account of that would sound absolutely crazy to us because we don't have that perception at all. So just, taking a little bit of a humble position and thinking the sages who put this together are definitely having more expansive consciousness than us, without a doubt. And their ability to perceive the consciousness of other entities is not limited to their 5 weakened senses, because our senses are so weak even. So even there are other living entities on planet Earth right now with more sharpened senses than us that can perceive entities in ways that we can't perceive them, right? Like the eyes of insects that can see like 100 different facets of things, and inaudible, supersonic, and subsonic sounds, all this. So I'm prepared to accept simply that these living entities are there in the universe and we can't perceive them. And I just wanted to share that. So, Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Shripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai.
Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila Acharya Dev, Srila Tirtha Maharaj Ki Jai. Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. All glories to the devotees, all glories to the worldwide devotees, Sama Bhakti Veda Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Navadvip Dham Ki Jai, Mayapur Dham Ki Jai, Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai, Jagannath Puri Subhadra Ju Ki Jai, Mai Yamuna Mai Ki Jai, Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Giri Govardhan Gupta Govardhan Dham Ki Jai, Sham Kund Radha Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Vrinda Devi Ki Jai, Jai Harinam Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai, Scientific Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai, Bhakti Vedanta Institute Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Hari 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 Bol.
Hari Bol.
Śrīmatī Uma Devi Dasi Ki Jai, Śrīmatī Tulsi Dasi Ki Jai, Śrīmatī Bhakti Swat Jai, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna and Krishna Kesava Das Brahmachari Ki Jai.
Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev. Hare Krishna.
Good day.
Vandava Pranam.